Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to the channel of Delusional Theories. Today I'm going to be reviewing, talking about, commenting my, third entry in my 100 favorite films of all time. This is a series again that I've been wanting to do for so long, and I'm excited to watch this film because actually it's a different kind of commentary from my previous two entries, because first one is a film that I watch all the time, that I'm very familiar with, that I had a lot to say about. Second one was a film that I used to watch a lot, and then recently not so much, so it was somehow novel again to me. And this one is a movie that I watched once when it came out a couple of years ago, and I knew immediately that I would watch it again and that it would become a favorite, and here it is. So we're going to attest to it. Oh, the name of the movie is Causeway. The way that I almost didn't say this. It's Causeway, directed by Lila Neugebauer. I'm so sorry about that. Starring Jennifer Lawrence, Brian Tyree Henry, and Linda Emond. Fun fact about me, I love Jennifer Lawrence. I'm one of those people, like when I was in university, I used to watch compilations from a channel I think was called Tiffany Maxwell. Oh, this is an A24 movie. Of course it is. You're gonna see A24 a lot here. But I used to watch Jennifer Lawrence compilations of like funny moments in interviews because I was very lonely and I needed company, and that was good enough. And one time I put it on with some friends and they found it so weird, and I realized that there are social norms and that watching compilations of funny moments of Jennifer Lawrence does not obey the social norms of my friend group all the time. The whole film, from what I remember, it's her just... Should I clean this? Just this whole time, she's just completely deadpan. I don't think she smiles once. I don't think she emotes very much. She's just incredibly traumatized and just trying to exist. This initial scene... The movie starts with her, I think she's in a facility to be like taken care of, or she's like in a halfway home after returning from war, and there's this lady, this nurse, telling her all these things like, this is your phone, these are your meds, this is everything you need, blah, blah, blah. And she's just sitting on the bed, like staring into nothing, probably trying her hardest just to be there a fraction of a second to try to understand any of this. And I shit you not, this reminds me of that one scene from, I'm so sorry, this is gonna sound so pretentious. It reminds me of that one scene from Apocalypse Now in the beginning where the guy is going completely nuts, insane in the hotel room or whatever the hell it is in the apartment before they call him back into actions. Like this idea that, and I will actually talk about it because this movie is in the list. God damn it, I'm spoiling too much. He's driving himself insane up the walls, going crazy in this hotel room or apartment or whatever it is, and until they call him, like, and they go get him for a new mission, and the absolute insanity of the contrast of him going insane in a room with no threat and nothing to do and nothing to harm him. But then when he goes out into the field, into the mission where he can actually potentially die, he's like super calm and steady and zen and focused. And she's reminded me of that scene because she's the complete opposite. Like she's in this room after she's returned from war. She's had a really bad injury. She's trying to figure out what the fuck to do in this world that is completely different from the world she knew before. And it's just complete apathy. She doesn't even have the energy or whatever the hell she would need to, climb a wall to go a little insane. She's just complete apathy. When she's finished with rehab, she has to go back home because she can't redeploy because she's still goddamn rehabilitating, just good enough to leave the halfway house. And like the lady that is with her, that is taking care of her in the halfway house, is like, are you ready to go home? And she's like, no, I'm ready to deploy. And the lady says, no, you can't. You're not ready to deploy. You are not recovered enough. Like, it's a long way to go. And when she realizes that she has to go home, we get the impression that there is no home, that she's not going back home. She's going back to hell, where she escaped from, into the military. And this is one of the things that, like, drives me insane about the military. And I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of examples in the US, but I'm sure it's not just in the US. Like, come on. The idea that people escape shitty situations into the military. I mean, I have reviewed a TV show about this before, Special Ops Lioness, where the main character from the first season literally escapes an abusive relationship by running out of that relationship and running into the military, the US Army, literally. And that's where she escapes to. And this idea that there's this industry set up to use and take advantage of vulnerable people who are vulnerable not just financially, but emotionally, socially. They don't have a network of people to look after them. They don't have the emotional skills to deal with their shit. So they escape into a very structured environment. They escape into a place where they will be taken care of, where they will be told what to do, where they don't have to assume the responsibility, like assume the role of the responsible person for themselves and for others, where they just receive an order, they do the order, and then they go to bed. And then when they leave it, they have a decent retirement, they have, I don't know, whatever other benefits there is. This whole idea of this industry, this institution existing not just in the US, in a lot of places, in a lot of countries, that takes advantage of these multiple people, it's just sick and twisted, and I hate it. And this film just hammers on the point that it does not make sense and it is not right to recruit that way, which they recruit that way. Like, I remember, just a side note on this. For those of you who don't know, I have a master's in psychology and I used to work with victims of GBV, DV, a lot of types of violence. And, well, the majority is DV, let's be honest about it. And one time, my initial years working with this was just volunteering. I volunteered for 4 years. And one time I was in my volunteering and the head of the office that I was volunteering for was talking to us about the police. And this is in Portugal. This is in our country. So I'm assuming it's like that in a lot of places, but this is in our country. To join like the police and the detectives and I think the army and the Marines and whatever the hell else there is, there's an age limit. And a lot of it is like on your physical condition. Like if you're old, you won't be able to do those jobs. For the military, it makes sense. For the police, it's like, come on. There are 50-year-old pot-bellied police officers on the streets. But the idea is that they need you young so that they can, shape your brain. And this head of this office where I used to volunteer with victims of DV and other GBV crimes, once said to us, yeah, they need you young. They don't like you when you're like older. Even if you can apply to it until you're like 26, 28, I don't know what the age limit is. They don't like you that older. They like to get you when you're 22, 23, so that they can shape your mind to their own values and their own priorities and their way of seeing the world. And I hate it profoundly. And this film, so far as I can see it, does a good job just implying all of this. There's no discussion about it. There's no real conversation outlining all of this shit, but they just imply it so goddamn well sometimes with just a small, tiny little look from Jennifer Lawrence. And I just appreciate it deeply, and I need you to appreciate it with me. I am sweating so goddamn much. Yep. She's going back home, and this home looks a little bit down. Yep, pretty up. And she doesn't want to go in. She doesn't. God damn it. I mean, I know the feeling. I was away from here. Right now I'm in Portugal, my mom's house. I was away for 10 years. I know the feeling. Okay, I was mistaken. She does smile and laugh when she meets her bestie. Aww. I don't remember the film because I've watched this just a couple years ago when it came out, but I think they become besties throughout the whole film, and eventually that's what happens to her, right? She just settles there and she has this bestie that she cleans pools with, and honestly, isn't that a dream? To have at least one reliable person in your life? From the beginning, he knows something is up. He knows something is not okay with her. He knows she's like not doing well in some way, and he just doesn't push. He doesn't ask too many questions. He doesn't get in her space. He just respects her and what she's, asking and willing to talk about and whatever. And she does the exact same thing with him. I mean, I could live for a month off of living vicariously through such a healthy relationship. Months of my life. She's a ghost. She's a ghost. She's a ghost. Yeah, this is going to be a very short video, you guys. I'm just enjoying it. These two besties have the loneliest possible conversation in the world, and god damn it, do I feel it. He does a favor for her by helping her move some gym equipment because she's trying to get back into shape to go back to the military, to go back to Afghanistan. And baby boy helps her move the gym equipment. They go for burgers, they have a beer, they go back to his house to just talk and, share each other's trauma with the other person. And then they're at his house and they're drinking beers, and she shouldn't be drinking beers because she's on a lot of goddamn medication. And he says, won't you move in? Won't you move in just to make me company? Just so I can have someone to drink my goddamn coffee in the morning and have someone to smoke my goddamn cigarette in the evening and every now and then cook together. Because isn't this literally what everyone is looking for? Everyone is just looking for like a decent, trustworthy person with whom to share like the little bits of life that we have to ourselves, the little parts of our life that we aren't working or shitting or sleeping or whatever the fuck it is, and we can just share with someone that sees the world the same way we do, that shares our values, that, we can hang out with. And to me, what really gets to me is just the honesty of these two people, because at the same time, they are kind of afraid of speaking out of line, saying too much, saying too little. This is a person they've met not that long ago. They're not very close. Like, they've known each other for a couple weeks at this point. And they're like doing this little balance of knowing what to say, when to say it, try not to say too much to scare the other person off. And then this guy just completely honestly just says, won't you move in? Won't you just make me company? I knew I put this film here for a reason. I knew it. So we've just had the scene of you used to be the funniest little kid and then you got so serious. I could speak for days about this because she grew up in a house where clearly she was parentified. She was made to be the sensible one, the serious one, the responsible one. Probably had to take care of her brother many, many times. Her brother was an addict who had an addiction to a lot of different substances. I don't remember everything she said, but she said a lot of them, including laundry detergent, whatever. And the reason she felt suffocated in the house was because her brother was basically just killing himself slowly with drugs, and her mother wouldn't recognize it. Her brother was dying in front of her, drowning himself in all of these drugs with this goddamn addiction, and her mother would just sit there at the dining table and be like, oh no, poor little him is so tired, because he looked high, and she wouldn't recognize it. And then she says that you used to be the funniest little kid and then you got so serious, and her expression in her face is like, yeah, why was that, mother? Why was that? Why was I the one who had to be the serious one here? Maybe perhaps because my brother was killing himself slowly by consuming all of the drugs available on the planet. And then she has so much patience with her as well. Her mother is literally just a grown-up kid. You know that idea that people don't really grow up that much? That 30-year-olds are really just 15-year-olds or 19-year-olds, that we pretend and we act like adults, but really we're just little kids in the bodies of adults, and no one really even know what the hell an adult is supposed to be, because is there one alive on the planet? This idea is very much represented here in this mother, because she behaves like a teenager. She drinks all the time. She goes to her job on time. She, gets the check, but she can't stock the fridge. She doesn't take care of herself or her place. She has a hard time, with these habits that are typical of a normal adult, I guess. And she has a man in the house. I think it's actually her father in the house, like having fun, having drinks, playing music. And it's just like, yeah, of course she's the serious one. Of course she had to be the responsible one, because who the hell else was going to be the responsible one? Who was going to take care of the addict? Who was going to take care of things? And it's just, parents can be such assholes in that respect, in the thing of like not recognizing all the bullshit they did, because that's the thing about people, right? All the parents in the world fuck up all their kids in the world, right? It's like every kid is messed up by their parents, and then the majority of them just never recognize it, not ever. And you see it in this relationship, and it's just well done, just well portrayed, because I don't even know if most parents even see it. I don't think they even see, like, I don't think this mother ever even saw the fact that she was pretending that her son wasn't an addict and slowly killing himself, I get this idea that this mother spent the whole time being like, oh, poor him, so tired, and then one day he died or left, and that was it. But yeah, all this just to say that I love that line, and this film does this so well, of saying so little or showing so little and saying so goddamn much. I got distracted by the movie and have made absolutely zero commentary, but I just want to highlight this part where she goes to see her brother in prison. He's not dead, but he's in prison because he was dealing drugs. And it's just sad, because he says that he's better off in prison. And I mean, how many times have I heard this? How many times have I heard people saying, yeah, I spent my whole life struggling with this or that other thing, and then I came to prison to be free, to be safe, to be okay. And the movie ends with her getting her green light to go back to the army, to go back to Afghanistan, and her deciding to stay and taking up the offer of the bestie to go move in with him. There were shenanigans that I did not tell you because I got too into the movie, but they had a little fight about something, and she kind of comes up to his house saying, yeah, I don't want to leave. I want to stay. Can I take you up on the offer of sharing your house with you, please, so that we are, besties for life? And the movie ends before he gives an answer, and it's kind of in my heart of hearts, I want to believe that he says, yes, come in, let's be besties for life. But I don't think he does, because the last thing we hear is a plane taking off. I think he says no. I think he says, what you did is not cool. I am not looking for a bestie. I'm looking for a girlfriend. I don't want you here, whatever the hell it is. And then she, once again, has no place left to go. She can't go home. She doesn't have friends. And she decides to go back to the goddamn military. And the plane that we hear taking off is her going back to goddamn Afghanistan. Just a little note. This movie was co-written by Otessa Moshfegh, the lady who wrote My Year of Rest and Relaxation. And the first time I watched this film, when I saw that credit there, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. Oh yeah. Oh, I see that. That so many things are clicking now. And now I saw it again, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know what? I'm going to take it back. I can't take it. I can't take this. No way she went back to the army, She stayed with her boo. Her bestie said, yes, we can be besties again. We can be besties for life. And she never went back to the army. She recovered. She laughed a lot. She drank beers. She cleaned pools. She had a good time. And eventually she went back to her job as an engineer with whatever the hell it was, with dams. That's not how I really feel about this film, but that's how I want to feel about this film. So that's officially how I feel about this film.